Hey, how's it going? It's Kyle with Dirt Bike Channel here. How you doing? Just wanted to let you guys in behind the curtain a little bit. I am on my way to pick up a Husqvarna TE250i. It's the fuel injected version of this bike. Basically, the way that this came about is got contacted by Husqvarna, one of the Husqvarna reps. There's a gentleman there who said, hey, would you be interested in testing out one of these TE250is? And I said, sure. I just barely, right before that, like a day before that, I'd purchased the KTM 250 XC-W TPI, which is sitting there at my shop. And so I thought, well, geez, this would be kind of interesting to demo this Husqvarna version. So the deal is this: they're going to let me borrow the bike for 3 weeks or a month and do some testing with it on this Husky. Now, it's the first Husky that I've ever had, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to test this bike out for a little bit. I will speak my mind on it, as you know, as I've done with everything else. Whether I buy the bikes, I've bought every bike I've ever reviewed except for the Beta. I did a Beta 300 RR, which was essentially Beta let me test that thing for 3 months. So this will be another thing similar to that. The only difference is, I don't know how well you can see, but there's a lot of snow on the ground. It's December right now. It's December 22nd. And I have the day off work. And so I'm driving to go pick up this bike. So that's kind of the down part. The downer is that it's a 3-hour one-way drive to go pick this thing up. Now, technically speaking, the bike is coming out of California. I live about 11 or 12 hours away from LA, and they're kind enough, at least on this one, to meet me 2/3 of the way there in I'm going to Cedar City, Utah to pick this thing up. When I drop it off, I've got to drop it off in Las Vegas. So I'm doing a lot of driving just to have this bike for a short amount of time, and it's December here, and so this is pretty much the worst time for me to ride a dirt bike because it's frigid cold. I have to go out to the desert and try to find some place that doesn't have a lot of snow. And even on top of that, then if I don't want to be frigid cold, I can go like down to St. George area in here in Utah, but that's a 3.5 or 4 hour drive to get down there. So it's an interesting time for me to do it. It's not the best timing, but it does offer a chance for me to compare the Husky and the KTM. I'll be able to put them on the scale, see which one weighs, see if they weigh the same thing, see how they perform. I'll set up the sag for them both, and hopefully get out and ride them a little bit back to back. So should be kind of an interesting little test here. But I'm dedicated to this. I wanted to let you guys know. I mean, I'm driving 6 hours. Well, it's actually going to be about at least 6.5 hours today that I'm going to drive down to get this bike, and then when I go to drop it off, that's another 12 hours in the truck. So I'm spending between 18 and 20 hours in the truck driving to and fro to get this bike and drop it off, just so that I can tell you some thoughts. So guys have said, well, why don't you do Huskies? Well, I'm spending 20 hours in the truck in the next month to be able to do, and that's just driving to and from to pick the bike up. All the other stuff, I'll have put 40 or 50 hours into this by the time, maybe even more, probably like 80 hours into any of the stuff that you see on the Husqvarna. It's like 80 hours of my life. Actually, I guess it's more than that, because with the video editing, it's going to be more like 100. So I've just committed to about 100 hours in the next month or so to be able to show anything and talk in any intelligence at all about this Husky TE250i. So anyway, that's what I'm up to today. So I try to get my kids to come with me, and nobody wanted to get and just sit in the truck for 6 hours today, or 6.5, 7 hours today, when they're on their Christmas vacation. But that's what I'm doing. So I'm taking my Christmas vacation on the road to pick up a dirt bike so I can tell you guys what I think of it. And that's what I'm up to today. So I'll show you some pictures and stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to roll in some pictures on this. In fact, I'm sure I will be able to roll in some pictures of the pickup after I get it back in the back of my truck here, and just kind of give you some stuff. I don't know yet if this bike is brand new. My gut feeling is maybe it isn't. Maybe it's already been demoed by someone. I'm not real sure. But I do know that I can't buy the bike after this thing is over, because they told me it's got European VIN numbers, European VIN, so it's got to go back to Europe. So I can't just purchase this thing after I'm done with it. That would have been really nice, but they already told me I can't do that. So anyway, that's what I'm up to.